We are going to continue our Getting Started series. We're going to keep looking at warriors.
The Crusade calls us, my friend.
That's right, it does. And that tells you exactly who we're looking at this week. We're looking at Johanna, the Crusader. Oh my gosh, everybody. The Crusader of Zakarum, Johanna, is one of my favorite characters in this game. She is probably tied with Diablo as my favorite warrior in the game. She is amazing. Let's get right into it. There's a lot to talk about with Johanna. So, like with any one of these videos, I'm going to give you the default spiel. You've heard it before. This is not the definitive guide to this character. In fact, this is just a little quick look at the character to give you some basics, some pointers, so that if you're considering taking Johanna into quick match or playing her, even if it's just against AI, you've got a rough idea of where to start. You've got a basic talent build to use. You know the basics of her combos. That's really what we're here to do. So we have Johanna here on default horse, which is very sad. And we're going to get right into it. Now, the first main ability that you're going to want to use with Johanna is actually going to be her W. It's called Condemn, and what you'll see is it creates a little circle around her that pulls enemies in, stuns them, and does some damage. Now, Condemn is going to be super useful against big groups of enemies. As you can see, it damages all the minions. And it also will stun enemies. So let's say you've got a big Asmodan shooting a laser at your team. Hit him with a Condemn. Boom, you've interrupted the laser. Now, that next ability that I used is Punish. Punish is fantastic. It deals damage in a nice little cone around her. You can see it right there, moving all around. It also slows enemies. Now, the reason I'm showing you W and then Q is because that's the combo with her. That's the first basic combo. When you go in to deal damage, you're going to pull in with the W, and then you're going to slow with the Q. Because odds are enemies are going to start trying to get away. You don't want them to get away, so pull them in, slow them down, and keep hitting them. Makes sense, right? That's going to be your basic bread and butter when you're in lane. Now, as you can notice, as I'm trying to beat up this Arthas here, I'm not doing crazy good damage to Arthas. I'm not here to kill Arthas. I'm here to tank. I'm here to soak up damage for my team, which doesn't exist. Speaking of, let's get a team in here. So, my main goal is not to be a big assassin. You see that giant shield? That's what you want to be. Shield your allies. Protect them. Deal damage. Get in there. Chase off Arthas. Make him leave. That's a victory, because look, every time we do it, we make more progress down the lane. Johanna's not fancy damage. Now, let's take a look at her E, just so we've covered everything. This is going to be her shield glare, and you can see it's a big cone coming out from her. Now, it's going to do a couple things. First, it's going to do some damage, so keep that in mind when you're going up against Novas and Zeratul. You can reveal them with shield glare, because it does do damage. So if you see that little shimmer in the bushes, things like that, go ahead and blast it at them, because it's going to reveal them. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to blind them. So any auto attacks they do in that time is going to miss. That's not going to block magic, but it will block auto attacks. So make sure you're using that liberally. It's a very good way to deal a little bit of damage from range, reveal stealth characters, and also prevent auto attackers from doing a ton of damage. Finally, let's take a look at the D, which is Iron Skin. This pops an emergency shield around you. Let's say you got in a position where you're going to take more damage than you want. Pop it. It's up for 4 seconds. Look at that. We just ran past the cannons, got shot by a bunch of cannons, took no damage out of the deal. We also wasted about 4 shots of ammo from each one of those cannons, so another thing to keep in mind with that particular ability. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk talents. Level 1, I like to take Knight Takes Pawn, which increases the damage that I'm going to do to minions. This is going to help deal damage at objectives for certain maps where maybe you have to take out a bunch of little enemy minions. It's going to help stun mercs. It's going to do a lot of good for you overall, despite being nerfed a bit over time. It's still a highly sought after skill. Level 4, there's actually a couple different talents you can take. I'm going to give you 2. I know that's what I said I wasn't going to do in these videos. It was going to be just one talent and then you modify it how you want, but I'm going to cheat a little bit with Johanna. When you're new with her, take Laws of Hope. Give yourself some reliable healing. Give yourself some increased health regen. Do what you need to do. But once you start to get comfortable with her, and once you get a good team backing you that you can rely on healing you and keeping you up on health, take Eternal Retaliation. It's a much better talent, but for now we're taking Laws of Hope because we're looking at this as a beginner's guide, and being able to heal yourself and increase your passive health generation is going to be useful. Alright, at level 7, go ahead and take Conviction. This is going to speed your movement when you're using Condemn. So, by default, Johanna moves at about this speed. Now when I Condemn, though, she can close the distance. See how that works way better for that combo now? Now, not only can I still get the Condemn off and it managed to hit Arthas, but it puts me in a really good position getting around him. Look at all the extra damage I'm now able to deal. So, it's going to be extremely useful. Every time you get Condemn, you get a nice little burst of speed. Very, very handy skill. For the ultimate, take Blessed Shield. Now, this is a skill shot, which means you do have to land it. You're going to aim it. You're going to always aim it at the enemy heroes. And basically what it'll do is it will stun them, but it also bounces. So keep in mind that you're going to be hitting multiple targets with it. At level 13, take Burning Rage. I love Burning Rage on Johanna. So we've talked about how she doesn't deal a lot of damage, and that's definitely true. Burning Rage is the first step in correcting that deficiency for her. Now, she's never going to be a high damage character. However, she can do decent damage. Again, with Knight Takes Pawn doing some damage there, just staying in the fight, you can see we're dealing steady damage to Arthas. And with our ability to slow and pull him in, next thing you know, you're in the thick of it and you're actually getting some serious kills with her. Another little tip for Burning Rage. If you're going up against the Zagara, she's laying creep tumors all over the ground. You got creep all over the place here. By having Burning Rage, you can walk over them to destroy them, which removes the Zagara's biggest advantage, which is vision. So keep that in mind if you're on Blackheart's Bay or a map that really favors Zagara and you notice a lot of creep tumors. Take this talent, run over them as Johanna, and you will ruin the enemy's ability to see you. At level 16, take Blessed Hammer. This is another damage increasing talent. Again, we're not going to give her great damage, but we can give her better damage. And by giving her better damage, we make her more useful. You can see, creates a little spinning hammer, goes out, hits Arthas. We can play super aggressively still. We can stay in the thick of this fight, and with the Burning Rage, the hammer, the Condemn, the stuns, the slows, all of it coming out, now all of a sudden we have a character that couldn't do anything to Arthas that now not only can stand toe-to-toe with him, but can actually cause a lot of damage in the process. Just remember to get your body blocks. Remember to do all the damage that you want, all the damage you can. And stay in there, stay close to him. Make sure that Burning Rage works and does work for you. Make sure you're slowing him. If you're taking excessive damage, make sure you're popping your shield. All of this is going to work to help you. You can see we're able to stay in there. We're not taking a ton of damage, but we're doing a lot of damage in response. Alright, final talent of the deal. Let's take Indestructible. Now, what Indestructible does is when you take damage that would kill you, instead you pop a shield that keeps you alive. Eventually it expires, and it is going to return you to basically no health. So it is a, hey, time to get out of dodge when it goes off. But let me show you the power of Indestructible. First, I'm going to get rid of my ally. Now I'm going to replenish forts here. Let me show you what it can do. So I'm going to actually try to get myself killed here. So here's Johanna. She's dancing around. She's getting shot by turrets. If I pop my Unstoppable, that's taking some damage. But it's just not going to be enough. This should give you a good idea of just how tanky she is, too. She can take a beating. And look, there it is. So that's indestructible. It's now popped, but they're also out of ammo. And that's what it leaves me with when it expires. So you're going to see why I want to get out of here. But in a big, busy team fight, that's going to save your life and really help you. And my goodness, could she be any tankier? So, that's it. Those are the big things you want to keep in mind with Johanna. That's what you want to do with Johanna. Just remember those combos. Make sure that you're using your shield to engage at the right time or stun at the right time. Make sure that you're using your cooldowns appropriately. If you're going to take big damage, make sure you're popping Iron Skin. Or if you're rooted and need to get out of it, keep in mind that that Unstoppable will keep you from being rooted in place. Make sure when you condemn, you're charging the enemy and then using Punish to slow them down. And if an auto attacker gets in your face, make sure you are blinding them. If you can master all of these together, you can play a mean Johanna, and it will be well worth it. So thank you everybody for joining me. Until next time, we're going to slash dance on out of here.